Alright.
Hi.
Hello, Astra.
Hi.
Long time no see. I brought a nice bottle of beer. Because I'm gonna need it for this week's episode of Radio Rothingham, the world's least professional podcast on the internet. We got with you the one and only Xaverius.
Yeah.
We got Sekele.
Yes, I came too.
And since Beck couldn't be with us today, we got a replacement. It's Astra. It used to be the other way around. Like whenever Astra wasn't around, we had Beck as the replacement. But somehow the rules got reversed. Also, we got raided by the diversity police, and they were like, "You guys don't have enough women in here." So we're like, "Oh yeah, we got a spare woman in the closet here." So yeah, how does it make you feel, Astra?
I'm honored.
You're,
I am honored. I am.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're honored to be our diversity hire.
Yes.
So
We're
just to be clear, the only reason we even have you on the show now is for the diversity quota, right? There's absolutely no other reason. We only hired you. By the way, the pay's really high. It's €0. So the only reason we hired you is because you're a woman. Nothing else. It has nothing to do with your personality or anything. Great, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It all worked out just fine. Anyway, I'm drawing girl from Head in Time. It's funny because I'm not even sure if the protagonist from the game is supposed to have a name. But she's cute. So,
I think
go ahead.
she's supposed to be called Hat.
Oh, that makes sense. Or, the character of that caliber. Also, this other version that I guess it's like a concept artist or just a fan artist, but this older version of the girl looks hella cute. Hella, yeah. Because if you're gonna draw a hella cute drawing of a hella cute character, then you gotta use a hella tablet with a hella stylus to hella draw her. Hella is now the new like. It's hella the hella word to hella make hella everything interesting. It actually doesn't really work like the word like, but
which reminds me the Life is Emo thing 2.7, I don't know, is out, and
Nobody cares.
exactly, like you don't even have the suspicious special ability of moving time. Your special ability in this game is to yell swear words at people.
which game?
Exactly.
Oh, okay. Well, your point exactly, I suppose.
Artrix, the Hela game.
Okay, yeah, that doesn't ring a bell, so that probably goes to show just how irrelevant it is.
Life is hella strange, Artrix.
It is hella strange. Everything. Oh, wait a minute, isn't this one of those walking simulators where you're in this house? Oh.
No. It's an attempt at an adventure. Except you can really do much, except talk to people.
Oh wait, they removed the time travel aspect from the game.
Well, yes, you are playing as the blue person, Dyke, who died.
They basically removed the one gimmick that made the game noticeable.
Yes, but now it's already famous, so all you need to do is just churn out sequels, and it doesn't matter if you have innovative stuff in it.
Isn't that kind of like a walking simulator, though? Like all these other games where the focus is talking to people. And
Well, Arctic, the walking simulators I know are much worse.
Okay.
Dear Esther has only letters, and that's it. Letters and an island. You walk on the island, you grab the letters. At least if you walk on the letters and grab the island once in a while, that would be interesting, but no.
Let's say it this way. Life is strange and remove the time travel aspect, with a walking simulator.
Yes, yes, yeah. Sometimes you pick up an item. Watch out. Uh, except, the last episode of Life is hella strange was hella unfinished, and that time travel resolution made absolutely no sense. Yes.
I agree. Anyway, topics. We have a bunch. Let's start off with Astra 10 with the Astra because we haven't had that in a while. So Xaverius, take it away. That was beautiful.
Yes.
Do I have to do it for you or
No.
okay?
I need to reconfigure my voice. This is Astra time with Astra.
Ooh, that
Hi.
was one silky smooth voice you got there. All right, let me. So this is Astra time with the Astra. All right, so we got Astra time with the Astra. This time around, it's a very personal topic, which is very personal. Did I say that it's personal? It's a hella personal story. It is Astra's story. It's a story about how she went out and got herself a SNES Mini.
The Astra.
Yes.
In this summer, except it's fall, Astra gets an SNES Mini in
Yes.
theaters now. Right. So what are your first impressions of the SNES Mini?
Is it
Well-
small?
It's tiny. Yeah, you can put it in the palm of your hand.
That is
Fun
pretty small.
play. It's got HDMI and two-player compatibility.
But the
You know,
real question is, are the games upscaled to 1080p? Like, does it really make a difference?
no,
Are-
no,
are-
it's the same square format, 9x16.
Here I thought all the games would be like HD remasters.
4K.
Like
Nope.
all the graphics
Nope.
are HD now, but no, it's just original game in their original glory. That like, who the fuck wants that? Come on, it's current year. I want all my graphics to be shiny and modern, like that Ratchet and Clank game, where all the characters have no soul whatsoever. It all looks really boring and polished and shiny and 2017y, but all the characters have lost their soul.
You don't need
Still
that.
casuals.
Except for and then there's a game like Ahead of Time, which is like, fuck that shit, we're going to make our game look as N64 as possible, but still with HD graphics, which is kind of neat.
Can't make this jump.
But
I agree.
how many games does it have?
It has 21 games plus the Star Fox 2.
Uh-huh.
I'm trying to make this fucking jump. And yeah, you can access the Star Fox 2 by completing level 1 of Star Fox 1. I can't make this fucking jump.
That's sad, Astra.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we are such a professional podcast that Astra's playing the SNES Mini as we speak. This is some real gaming journalism we got
She's
going
very
on right here.
professional. She's being very professional
I'm
right
so
now.
professional that I've actually beaten the tutorial level.
Oh my god, Astra!
Okay, Polygon, if you're listening, which I seriously doubt, but if by any chance you are, since we're evil gamigators and you're probably looking for dirt on us, this here is an actual gaming journalist right here. Hire her immediately if you want to take care of your diversity quota and have an actual gamer. Hire Astra. She's
Oh
really,
shit!
She's
No,
really cheap.
let's go
She's
again
really cheap.
again.
Only £20 per hour.
Don't listen to Artrix. Astra is a sock puppet podcaster.
Yes, she or is she? He is using a very sophisticated problem to turn her voice into that of a woman. So Astra's obviously a guy. The sock puppet guy. Like that sock puppet that what's his face used during that one conference. Tim Shaver, right?
The guy who used to be good but now is shit.
if
That's
his
a lot
recent,
of people. You need to be specific.
if his recent games or anything to go by, like that one game with the boy and the girl, it supposedly it was alright, but
Lots of games have
nothing.
boys and girls in them, Artrix. Even the Pokemon ones, even though the guy is never sure.
Yeah, I forgot the name of the game, but it
It's
was
Broken
like,
Age.
oh yeah,
That's
Broken
all I
Age.
know about it. Yes, well, I know more things about it. I know the name and the fact that they kind of ran out of money in the middle and had to do
Oh
another
yeah,
starter.
so
And they got more money than they originally needed from the raising.
But they still managed to run out.
They ran out of it, and then they had a second one, even though the first one should have been
Fucking
enough.
again.
Yes, exactly.
I agree. I agree, Astra. I agree. What am I
Sorry.
From the
agreeing
bottom
to?
of my heart.
Am I agreeing to? Am I agreeing to white supremacism now, or?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, obviously, obviously, Astra's a white supremacist. Obviously.
Obviously.
You just agreed to becoming a woman, Artrix.
Oh, I did. Well, sign me the fuck up. Especially in this day and age. You know, if I retain my personality and everything, I just become a woman and nothing else. I'll be set for life. I'll just walk up to a gaming studio or whatever. I'm like, hey, give me this job, and
Give
they're
job.
like, well, you're a woman. You're automatically hired.
As you should. I mean, you personally have lived through 7 centuries of oppression
Mhm.
just on the European continent.
Nah. All I need to be is a woman, and I'll be set for life. It's very easy. I don't even have to show my skills. They just hire me automatically. I you know, for the lols, I think I'll just become programmer. I am in no way at a professional level at this particular subject, but I'll just go there and become programmer. Just for the lols, just to make a point.
You should be an intersectional programmer.
Oh yeah, and did you see that one animation by the guy who made things like that one video that Richard Dawkins dared to upvote and he got in trouble for it? He also made one
No.
about it's basically like a video in which a bunch of ones and zeros are just forming binary numbers, and then their leader, which is a zero, is like, oh, look at all this diversity, as they show a number that's almost completely comprised of zeros. And then they're like, form the number 64, and it's almost nothing but ones, and the zero is like, oh my god, all these ones, it's such a sausage fest in here. In other words, you know, all the binary numbers are supposed to represent men and women, and it was very clever.
Okay, but why is the zero woman? Are you saying women are zeros?
Yes. Actually, that was implied in the video. That, yes, zero is literally worth less than a 1, but you still need them to form numbers. That was the whole point.
Are you saying women are literally worth less than men? That's racist, Artrix.
That is very racist, yes.
No, according to Sharia law, the testimony of a woman only has the value of a half a man's testimony. So
In other words, women are ones and men are twos.
Yes, that's now the new binary system.
Islam has some advanced math, Artrix.
Exactly. But let's not dwell on identity politics, and let's dwell on Astra's awesome new SNES Mini.
Well, being an Astra is also an identity. Titi.
But there's a difference between identity and identity politics, or something like that.
Titi politics.
Also, this head has a really odd shape.
Good for the head, I guess.
Well, they sure made it a challenge.
Not with the Nazis.
Maybe the hat was engineered by Nazis.
Oh my god.
I mean, they did have Jontron on the development team.
That was
He
exactly
voiced the
my point.
character.
He voiced the character, that means he did all of the programming.
Yep, that means the entire game's all about Jontron.
German science is best in the world.
But as for anything else you can tell about the SNES Mini?
It's
I-
easy, hackable. It's surprising how it is.
Oh yeah, you did hack it, didn't you?
Maybe.
Maybe. Or certainly.
She cannot deny or confirm that.
Yes.
Wait, is it? Are you saying that it's illegal to hack your SNES Mini? Is that what you're saying?
She
Yes.
can't deny that nor confirm that.
Okay, the head needs to taper a little bit more. That's
Oh, yeah.
perfect.
Taper the head.
Fucking Christ, this wrecking ball's wrecking me.
I think that's the intended purpose of the wrecking ball.
I came like a wrecking ball.
How nice of you.
But then the wrecking ball was you, or something like that.
Then the wrecking ball came
Also,
like
how-
me.
Also, how did you acquire the SNES Mini? Was it
Have you used
hard?
money?
It cost me
Did-
money.
How many monies?
Oh no.
80 monies.
80 monies?
80 monies.
Yes, 80. But
Yeah.
what kind of monies?
Oh,
Italian
monies.
liras? Oh,
It's like 420s. For our French listeners.
because, you know, French people can't into the English counting system. I mean, they wouldn't be listening if they didn't have, you know, some basic understanding of the English language. But yeah, they obviously need to be told how to count in English. If you're French and you agree, give us a thumbs up and subscribe, and add the video to your favorites. That's the only way you can let us know.
And send it to your French friends.
And send it to the French version of Facebook and the Twitters. send it to le Facebook and le Twitter.
You mean Le Facebook?
Le Twitter and le Facebook. And then you might actually win a prize. This is now the Radio Rothingham giveaway. The first French guy to send this podcast to their friends will receive 1 croissant. There's only croissants free of charge, but there's a €500
Jeez, what the
postage and
hell, man?
handling fee. So yeah, but the croissant's free. So
It's
yeah.
a very fragile croissant.
Exactly, so it needs extra care in the transport, you know. So yeah, as SNES Mini, it's sure as a
Very
console.
small.
It's great how we keep trying to just focus on the damn console and just.
It's a very small console.
And the NES Mini is a small console. There's NES Mini is a small console. There's NES Mini is a really, really big console. That's one of those old Radio Rothingham memes.
Back when the memes weren't even a thing.
That-
We called them in-jokes.
Mhm. They were kind of an in
Like
joke.
reckless media radio era.
Yes. Those guys are still dead, by the way. It's a
They
shame.
can never measure up to us, however.
Yeah, we surpassed them. They can never be as great as us. And we're the podcast claiming to be the least professional podcast. So yeah,
We outleast professionalism them.
they were actually fairly professional. They had like dedicated equipment and shit, like
Yes,
mixing
they also did-
boards and
They also didn't live across the entire continent,
yeah.
They also
mostly.
had their own theme song.
They had their own
Several
theme
theme
song.
songs.
That even at the studio, they physically got the Reddit to get in one room, and they were just sitting in a room having a smoke, drinking, and they had like all these microphones, like that 4 condenser microphones for every co-host. It was
So many microphones. It was like in Soviet Union.
I don't know about you guys, but that sounds pretty damn professional.
Well, obviously the prerequisite that you don't live across the entire continent.
Then again, we do style ourselves as the least professional podcast on the internet, and we're doing a pretty damn good job at it. So
The prerequisite is that we live across the entire continent.
that's
And some of us not even on the continent, right, Astra?
not even in Europe. I mean,
That's true.
let's remember the UKians left the Europe, and
We are intercontinental.
where are you now, Astra? Are you somewhere near Australia?
She's in the Barents Sea,
Ah, okay.
the last known location of England.
But how recent is that info? Maybe it's old and shit. I don't know. Also, I'm still struggling with this goddamn hat.
Oh, it's the last known location according to National Geographic, who are British, so they are probably lying.
Wait, they are British? Aren't they
But they are
American?
national.
Okay, I think I actually got this hat down now. Which would be good so I can get ahead with this goddamn drawing.
A hat.
Yeah?
I think
I'll
it needs
assure-
to get a hat.
I'm fairly sure that the actual game is full of hat jokes. Jokes that involve hats and time.
Definitely time.
Yes, well, it's time to move ahead.
Yes.
So, Astra, about the console.
Fuck you. Okay.
So far, we really have been just dragging it out of you, like. Okay.
Well, we know it's small, and she used money to acquire it.
Mm-hmm. Were there any other difficulties getting it? Wasn't there like a waiting list? Or did you
No,
have to pre-order it? Were there
I pre-ordered it,
scalpers?
pre-ordered. Yep.
You didn't get in trouble with any scalpers trying to get in on that?
No,
No, you beat the scalpers.
I did.
So how does it make you feel?
It makes me feel pretty good, actually.
All right.
Yes.
So, in order for this thing to not be any more awkward, let's move on to another topic because I think
I
now.
am concentrating on playing this fucking game.
So.
So professional.
So yeah, instead of that, let's move on to the next topic. I think I got just the thing to talk about. This is Radio Rothingham. We talk about politics a lot, so let's just get it over with. Catalonia and their quest for independence, and apparently they did it. And by they did it, I
Yes.
mean they officially requested independence or declared independence. It's like.
Yes,
We
yes,
are
and
now in.
by request, you mean declare, indeed.
Yes.
What's the man called? What do you call him? The governor of Catalonia? The head guy?
Let's just call him that, the head guy.
The big penguin?
I mean, after all, I'm drawing a head. I guess he was ahead in time to declare independence. That's such a wicked, funny joke.
Yes. Well, so this head guy, the president of Catalonia, is like, I don't actually feel like declaring that. Let the Catalonian parliament or whatever that is to decide.
Well,
Then we're like, yes, 70 were for and 10 were against, and 2 were like, I don't know, leave me alone. And so Catalonia declared their independence. And obviously the Spain was like, no, you are Spain, you are staying Spain. And they decided that they are going to go and enforce direct rule, as the newspapers are saying quite succinctly, which basically means let's send all the guys with guns there so they don't run away, including the country. Like imagine they declare independence and they're like Britain and are sailing the seas and there's just this big hole bit into Spain when there used to be Catalonia.
you see, this is why I'm not exactly a big fan of this recent idea of, hey, you guys, let's build a European army. What could possibly go wrong?
I don't know.
Well, I
Maybe you
mean,
could try declaring independence and then Germany will be like, no.
well, it would. I mean, we know that Germany and the European Union are pretty much synonymous, but still, technically, it's the European Union. Come on, let's do keep things straight here. Okay?
Technically, but Germany did say, and obviously EU did say that Catalonia is in fact Spain, which Catalonia was like, no, we are not listening to, we are Catalonia. Get the fuck off.
Well, see, even Astra's frustrated by Spain.
Yes.
Back off.
Well, the movement right now is that Spain is probably going to declare that illegal and send some people there because there were like, what was it, 200 votes in favor of not letting Catalonia go and 50 votes for letting Catalonia vote.
Oh, so at least they had the democracy to put
Yes.
that to a vote. At least
They did have the democracy. It wasn't just King saying, "Oh no,
it
I'm losing.
wasn't just the king going, well, no. At
I'm losing
least,
20% GDP. Send army."
well, that's basically what it comes down to.
Yes.
Oh my
Well,
god, a large portion of our economy wants to GTFO.
yes,
We
it
can't
happened
have
today,
that.
which means on Friday, so we don't know much yet. There's supposed to be a meeting of the government and shit, and they're going to decide what exactly are they going to do, if they're going to fire the Parliament of Catalonia. I imagine that that's going to go very well. It's like, you are fired, and they're like, no, we are not. You are a different country.
Yeah, that is the funny part of about it. I mean, yeah, if no the local government is like, okay, you fired us, that's cute. We're still gonna sit here in this parliament and rule Catalonia. It's not like, you're here. So either they have to, yeah, Spain is in a pretty interesting situation because if the dissolved parliament is just gonna be there still and still do the day-to-day operations, what's Spain gonna do? Send in the National Guard, forcibly removing the people from the buildings. That's gonna go down well. That's not gonna cause like even more people to be upset. That isn't going to harbor any anti-Spain sentiment even more.
Nah.
The people of Catalonia are gonna be completely fine with it. They're not gonna do anything whatsoever. They're just gonna let it happen and just be good citizens of Spain,
Yeah.
obviously. No one's going to object to this whatsoever. And if Spain doesn't do anything, well, Catalonia's just gonna do its own goddamn thing. So, what is it, Spain? It's kind of, they can't have you by the balls. This is the only thing Spain can do really is use violence as they've done. Because
Yes.
just letting it happen, well, yeah. They're kind of in a position of what do we have to lose at this point? We already tried to forcibly prevent the elections from happening. So, in for a penny, in for a pound. Or euro in this case, but I digress.
Well, what I'm reading here is that one of the possible courses of action could be accusing the Catalonian parliament members, but they don't really say of what they are supposed to accuse them. Not entirely sure. Just going to be, we are going to sue you, I guess. And obviously, Spain is not doing that well because apparently stock of Spain stuff is going down, and so is actually the rate of euro.
Well, that makes sense. I mean,
Because EU is very prepared for change,
hmm.
as we all know.
Well, well, yeah, that is, my criticism of the euro. Since we're all in this together, yeah, national governments have no way to adjust the currency to their local economic needs. So if something goes wrong in one part of Europe, and the entirety of Europe has to suffer for it, it's the good old one size fits none scenario. The euro doesn't. Well, it does fit some people, especially Germany. Germany's fucking happy with the euro because they're basically running the show at this point.
Yes.
But
Well, EU, they don't say who exactly. EU said that nothing changes and that the only partner for dialogue in the whole thing is Spain.
of course, because
So they unpersoned Catalonia.
well, they're attempting to. But yeah, it all depends on Spain's ability to enforce its sovereignty over Catalonia. One way they can actually do it, by the way, is by using. I don't know how much money does flow from Spain into Catalonia, as in how much aid they get from the federal government. Though technically, Spain is a unitary government, so that's why they actually could take Catalonia's sovereignty away, since Catalonia isn't. It's an autonomous region, but Spain isn't a federation, which means that the local governments do not have the degree of governments that a state like a German state or a US state would have. But
I'm getting mixed messages here.
why?
So this article says that some French minister, probably from the Ministry of Breakfast and Croissants, said that they are not going to
Recognize Catalonia as
yes,
an independent
recognize
state.
Catalonia. Indeed.
Well, that can be said about many countries in their early days. I mean, I think the United States wasn't recognized a independent country up until they, used force.
Yes, well, they
Become
used force
something.
after British used force. So maybe if Madrid uses force, then Barcelona can use force too.
Well,
Be like, we tried.
if Catalonia is not that financially dependent on Spain, if it
Well, no,
has
it's the other
size-
way around. As I said, Catalonia is 20% of GDP of Spain.
Yeah, but a lot of money may still flow from the central Spanish government into Catalonia, and
Well, probably not, because that was one of the reasons they are trying to be independent, because they didn't feel they are getting enough back.
okay. Well, so in other words, instead of that having leverage over Catalonia like that, it's the other way around, where
Yes.
they actually have leverage over mainland Spain, so to speak. Well, they're all mainland Spain, but you get what I mean.
They are an island now. They are
Yes.
sawing off Catalonia.
They want their own Brexit, but with Catalonia and then
And independence. Well, no, everybody
no,
wants
with
independence now.
with
SW.
Catalonia and what's that stuff they sell over there? I forgot the name. It's
Football.
No. Well, they have that too, but they can probably survive just off football. By the way, they can probably shut down every industry in Catalonia except for football and still get by fine. But no, what I meant is tapas. That that just little crappy foodstuffs that you can buy, and they're expensive, but people eat it anyways because it's Spanish. You see, I
Catalonian.
found out firsthand.
Artrix, it's Catalonian, not Spanish.
But
That's the whole point.
But maybe tapas was invented in Catalonia. You don't know. I actually don't know. Maybe tapas is a very Catalonian thing, and maybe this,
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm trying to say.
maybe
Because
this,
you said it's Spanish.
well, yeah.
You freedom hater.
Well, sorry that I went to Barcelona when it's still part of Spain. I get things mixed up, alright? So yeah, I guess time will have to tell what's going to happen.
Yes, and by time we mean the next few days.
Yeah, something is going to happen very soon. I suspect it's going to involve the military in one way or another, and I suspect that Spain is simply trying to physically remove Parliament from the government buildings and think that's going to solve the issue.
I just find it a bit hypocritical. It's like the last time somebody tried to leave somebody, it was Scotland. The EU was like, yes, that's a good idea.
And then half of Scotland says, yep. Half of them said, no.
You should be very independent, Scotland. Be independent. And before that, it was Kosovo, and they were like, yes, be independent, Kosovo. Because those were not in EU. Well, Scotland wanted to be in EU, rather, conversely. And now this is like, you don't want to be Spain, and EU is like, but Spain is in EU. Then if you are not in Spain, then you can be in EU.
Yeah,
Ah!
why? That's a good question. Why the fuck does the EU care anyway?
I mean,
it
I,
is.
I did hear that one of the proposals is to join EU after they are going to be
Exactly.
independent. I don't know why would you leave one Spain to join another Spain, but that's up to them.
That's the thing about self-determination. If the people of Catalonia desperately want to be part of the EU, by all means. If you want to be part of this anti-democratic governing body, by all means, go ahead and do it.
But at least we are not in Spain.
Exactly. Instead of being in the oppressive state of Spain, you now get to be in this oppressive state of the European Union.
Yes, and you can actually yell at Spain, because now it's not. Well, they are currently yelling at Spain, sort of, but
yeah, I don't think
EU in theory should put those two countries on the same level. We all know that in practice it's very far from truth, but the theory is there, the principle.
All the arguments brought forth.
The principle of equality that EU allegedly stands on.
with a big allegedly, of course. Like, we don't fucking know. But yeah, I don't think there's anything more to be said about this. I mean, it's Catalonia. They want independence, and they're not really getting it right now. Until maybe, Spain just backs off. I mean, there's only so much Spain can do. If they keep sending in their military and whatnot, and it doesn't make a lick of difference, like
because
people of
they are
Catalonia,
all going to be lured to play football.
I mean, you can keep sending in the military and everything, but if you got entire goddamn football stadiums just chanting independence, if all people on the street are like, yeah, this is Catalonia, this isn't Spain.
It's a different place, yo.
Yeah, at one point you just have to accept the fact that yes, Catalonia is no longer Spain. It's like a party and everyone's playing charades and everyone just gets bored of it and they start playing Vidya, and if you're still standing there trying to play charades,
then you are Spain.
Yeah, then you're basically Spain.
Don't be a Spain, mate.
You don't want to be a Spain. What are your thoughts, Astra? You have quite a bit of experience with
leaving EU.
Leaving the EU. What's your expert opinion on this?
Can't talk. Playing games.
And that
sums it very expert.
Perfectly.
Yes.
So
expert Astra.
Who's
an expert?
Let's expertly go to a new topic.
Okay.
So, as a lot of you dear listeners may have noticed recently, this is
Dear.
there's a very very wicked little website on this wicked internet we got over here. It's really small. No one has really heard about it. It's probably the first time you'll
Google?
ever hear about it. It is the NeoGAF. It is
I thought it was Google.
in theory, it is a website where you go to discuss video games. You know, you go there after a hard day of work, and you think, you know what? Instead of playing video games, I'm going to go there to discuss.
I'm going to gaff about them.
Yes. So GAF, NeoGAF, NeoFag, whatever you want to call them, had a little meltdown, just a little one. Like their founder was kind of
Fragile Nouveau.
their founder was kind of caught in this hot situation where supposedly, you know, let's listen and believe. Supposedly, he went to a bar cafe hotel, and he met a pretty little lady, and they were friends. You know, nothing romantic going on. We're just friends.
But then they decided to go on a road trip alone.
Alone, as friends do. And
Uh-huh.
no one else. And they were at a motel or something, and supposedly, and supposedly, this dude, you know, this chick went for a shower, and this dude thought, you know what, I'm gonna join her. I'm just gonna walk in and join her in the shower. And she didn't like that.
She
Surprising.
was like, no, I do not want dicks in me. Please leave. And then he left. And that was the end of it. He got kind of bitchy though, because he thought he would get a dick inside her. It kind of seems to him that this whole thing where they were alone of opposite sexes on a road trip would lead to that.
Yes, because automatically when members of the opposite sex are in any kind of situation where they're alone, it automatically means sex. Automatically. No exceptions. Except
The
that Sky...
funniest-
Oh, go ahead.
The funniest part is you could technically explain this away by him simply being stupid. However, this guy for long years declared himself a feminist.
Well, that wouldn't that constitute stupidity? I mean, come on, he's
It's
a
not
no
a different
feminist.
kind. Kinda does not have an excuse.
Well, there also serves this the story of the same guy basically being in the party at Spain, and he was like, yeah, I'm asserting my dominance by groping this woman's ass, who was obviously asking for it because she was asking for a 2-euro drink, and you know that's where you have to show dominance and grab this woman by the pussy. I mean ass. So yeah, great stuff. It's wonderful people. It's fucking fantastic. So yeah, what followed was basically all these moderators leaving NeoGAF because of feminism or some shit like that. And the entire site went down for a few hours, or maybe even a day. I mean, it's back now, but from what I gather, they shut down the off-topic forum, which, well, is obviously going to piss up a lot of SJW types, because now they don't have a place to bitch about oppression and whatnot.
Implying they didn't already do that in the regular topics.
Probably. So there's that. So they're gonna shut down the off-topic forum, and they're gonna install new moderator, and the moderator is gonna be anonymous. So whenever moderator does something stupid, it does not become a witch hunt for personalities, but more of a, well, okay, this moderator done fucked up, so we'll just remove the moderator. Moderator is anonymous anyway, so yeah.
Obviously, first you need to remove all those bad people.
Well, the thing is,
we saw that topic with people complaining that suddenly there's so many evil draws that are so evil and should be removed.
Well, obviously the site was raided by trolls the moment that it went back up. That was obvious, and anyone not aware of, okay, there's gonna be trolls, obviously. It's pretty obvious, you know.
Yes, those
all these
damn
people-
trolls who care
those-
about integrities.
But yeah, it's you know.
Artrix,
I
Artrix.
go ahead.
I heard those trolls even like video games.
So what you're saying is that all they had to do to troll NeoGAF is to actually talk about video games.
Yes, that's a thing that happens.
Yeah, that this is an actual thing that happened where someone just went in and opened a thread about a video game, and they just wanted to discuss how much they like a video game, and was shut down because reasons.
Yes, they didn't even talk about how black women are oppressed.
So they were like, oh yeah, I like this video game, and then the rest of NeoGAF's like, okay, so how is it oppressing people? And like, what? No.
So you think it does not oppress people? Ah, white supremacist.
I just want. Okay, this is a role play now. No, I just want to discuss this video game. I really like it. I just want to talk about it.
That's exactly what a Trump supporter would say, you fucking KKK member.
I'm not even in the United States. No, I'm from the UK.
That's even worse.
Imperialist oppressor!
Yes, whatever that was.
Imperialist!
I'm not even, you know, that much into politics. I just, you know, get back from work.
Work, fucking capitalist.
Then, yeah, but what's so wrong about that? I don't even make that much. I barely make enough to just, you know, have a little to buy a house.
Oh no, not a house.
What's wrong with that?
You sound very rich. You have lots of property. It would be
I
shame if communist revolution happened to your country.
I work 40 hours a week in order to be able to afford like a small studio apartment.
Yes, that's very capitalist. Why would you work?
To give myself a
Are you trying to oppress people?
Kill yourself.
and I vote Labour. If you must know.
Islamic Sharia law party.
Wait, what?
I have no idea. But I saw another news, and apparently Spain and Catalonia are not going to divide in a peaceful manner, like Czech Republic and Slovakia did, because Catalonia is rich and Slovakia was not rich.
But okay, time to send some delegates from
conclusion.
from Czechia and Slovakia and tell them how it's done.
I saw you, you fucking capitalist. Reveal yourself. Oh, he muted himself. Well, that's a shame.
Wait, what?
Tridgeon.
Oh. But Tridgeon, you don't need to mute yourself. We need more diversity on our show. They told us that the show's too Eurocentric. We need more Americans. We need more Americans. Got that?
Is he the right kind of American?
I'm pretty sure he is. He's pretty cool. He's pretty cool.
Oh, since we are still vaguely on the topic of NeoFag,
Okay, yeah.
I saw the best. It's related only as much as gaming journalism. But I saw the best article. There's a new game from the people who made the first two Gothics, and the Tridgeon left, and he's back. And what's the game called? Risen? Yes, I think the one with pirates. So from those people, the Piranha Bytes, that's what they are called. They made another Gothic-like game, except it's sci-fi. It's called Alex. And I saw a beautiful article on Kotaku, which was basically an article saying that it's a game, and then just copy-pasting screenshots of user reviews from Steam. This is how you do game reviews in this day
So
and
they
age.
didn't even write their own goddamn review. They just
Yes.
copy-pasted a review from... Well,
Exactly.
Incidentally, I saw a video not too long ago about the current state of journalism and how shitty it has become. And yes, just sites just copy-pasting articles from other sites is a very common practice.
Look at this. Yes, they are copy pasting everything because they have a certain. They God
They-
forbid one of the sides says something different than the other side.
I know,
Then
right?
then it would seem that they are not friends and not holding together and not having the same opinion. And that people could start asking questions, Artrix.
Yeah,
Oh.
just imagine, one of these gamergators asking you a question and you have to think and
No, I'm making fun of it, but they are still routinely mentioning Gamergate. They still cannot get over it, which is absolutely fantastic.
it is hilarious. At this point, Gamergate has basically become a boogeyman. Like
It was from the start.
at this point, a lot of Gamergators have just sort of, we kind of reached our goals. We got people to adjust their their ethics,
The physics.
the physics policy.
Oh yes, they go to the web pages to have
adopt
ethics
some,
ethics
yeah.
statements on them pages, which is about as much as you can do. But I still can. I fail to stop being fascinated by these beautiful articles that sometimes crop up. Kotaku is really good at this. Back when there was the Shadow of War rulebox thing and the Battlefront 2 rulebox thing.
Hmm?
Was it Battlefront? There was some game that had actually equipment upgrades in loot boxes. Either Battlefront 2 or Destiny 2. One of them. Well, I think it was Battlefront. So there was that controversy and everybody was talking about it. And meanwhile, on Kotaku, there was this beautiful article called "I Can't Get Enough of Star Wars Battlefront Sleeves."
Mhm.
It was a journalist who was just looking at leaves.
That
Yes.
sounds
very-
like that sounds like an otaku article. That's the thing about otaku.
That's very
Otaku.
important article. It's very relevant to current goings on.
I mean, I never really paid much attention to Kotaku, but it seems like every other article is about something that's completely unrelated to video games.
Kektaku. That's all I can say.
I mean, I recently looked up Tech Raptor, which is one of those Gamergate sites.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Yeah.
you look at the articles and they're strictly about technology, video games, something I would expect from a site that discusses video games.
That's completely wild.
Nothing about social justice. Nothing about, oh my god, not enough action in my protagonist. Just, okay, this game came out, it has such and such graphics, this is how you play it. That's what I expect from a video game site. I just expect them to tell me this game exists and this is what we think about it. And yes,
Yes,
it could, and yes, it could be argued that, yeah, people can tell what they think about it, and if it includes social issues, that's fine and dandy. I'm actually not inherently against that, as long as there are alternatives. And what the thing with these gaming sites is that, well, they all seem to be on one page, which was highlighted by the whole Game Journal mailing lists. They were all pushing the same agenda, and there was no well, that goes back to the earlier point that all sources are just referencing one another, oftentimes quite deliberately.
In a circle.
In a circle. It's almost as if it's a circular vicious cycle. It's a cycle and not
It's
square
a vicious circle jerk.
of journalists.
Yes.
Is it vicious
Journalist
though?
jerk.
The what now?
What makes it vicious exactly? I mean,
Well, the
Try
journalists...
disagreeing with them, Tridgeon.
Yeah, okay. Tridgeon, did you ever have an opinion?
no. I would never have an opinion. That's
Oh.
dangerous.
Well, in that case, these sites
I am a
are...
model citizen, Artrix, and
Also, ladies and gentlemen, here's our token American from the United States, which is in America, Tridgeon. Haven't seen you on the show in a long time. Welcome back.
yes, I've been living in the woods, so
Oh, slave.
So
He's
yeah,
been visiting his Sasquatch family.
yes, living in the woods, singing the national anthem like any other model citizen.
It's in the Muslim community, you'd have to go to Mecca once in your lifetime, and in the United States, is living in the woods.
Once a
Right.
year for 6 months.
Yeah,
Once a year for 6 months. Yes.
every year, no exceptions. So yeah, ethics in gaming journalism, it's still kind of a thing, but not as much because it's kind of bled over into media in general.
Just be sure to tell us how exactly it oppresses black trans women. It's like that study about feminism and icebergs.
I think the more interesting thing is that people actually identify as gamers as a cultural group.
Yes, well, it's a.
That's a little strange.
They didn't give a fuck, Tridgeon. That's the thing. But then somebody was like, "The gamers are dead."
Well, it's like,
times
oh,
14.
I too enjoy playing video games, and it's like, oh, then you must be a gamer.
Then you must die.
And if you're a gamer, then it's like, holy shit. I mean, it's like, since when does gaming make me like a part of some social group? I don't know. It's weird. I thought that like anybody could be a gamer.
The thing is, it does. If a large portion of your activities revolve around gaming, that is part of your identity. Which is
Yes, but as I said, gamers didn't give a fuck because they were busy gaming.
Exactly.
It was after this articles with Gamers Are Dead that they were like, yeah, well, if you want to identify us, yes, then damn right, we are gamers. Fuck off.
But
we have games
really,
to game.
But it's not really exactly a meaningful identifier when you're
It's
talking
not-
about everyone that is a gamer.
Tridgeon. That's the thing
They're
about
gonna have
this
like almost nothing in common with each other because it's such a small part of.
That's the
everybody's
thing
life.
about this identity politics. You are black, therefore you are exactly the same as all the black people. You play the game in your life, therefore you are exactly the same as all the game people.
Yeah,
Also,
so maybe the
Probably
problem-
subdivision based on the color of your skin because they love that. The point is, it's all absolutely meaningless.
Yeah, so maybe the problem is a little bit deeper than the assuming that everyone is sexist. It's maybe just assuming that everyone is anything.
Maybe, but we should definitely get a skipables button, Tridgeon.
Yeah, but yeah, and
It's like the work about the feminism and icebergs. I recently was talking about that with somebody, and I had to go back and read the abstract. It's I don't know all these words because I'm not an academic with too much of free time, but it seems to me that the thing is about finding out how many people in the field are white and complaining about it.
Complaining that they're white.
Yes.
The white people are complaining, or the other people.
See, we need more black transgender iceberg researchers.
You should visit California. There's a lot.
But there are no icebergs in California. They are theoretical iceberg researchers, right?
also, I'm pretty sure that there's no barrier to entry into any of these fields if you're just determined enough. No matter what.
Well,
your
the
skin color is.
Artrix, the barrier is studying.
Yes.
It's terrible. You have to do stuff.
And
Oh,
then after studying, giving a shit about it. I mean,
Oh,
I've got an undergraduate degree, but it doesn't stop me from being a professional rock breaker.
you
and
have
enjoying
undergrad degree in rock breaking.
No, I have an undergraduate degree in ecology and biodiversity, but I didn't go
Wow.
into the sciences.
That's sort of related.
It
Rocks
it
are-
definitely enriches my life living in the woods, but it has nothing to do with why I'm being paid to be there.
True.
Well, to be fair, most degrees train for something that you do not eventually end up in. I mean,
Which is horrible because you spend a lot of money getting those. I mean, at least in America, getting a degree is extremely expensive.
And that's why I didn't get degree.
Well,
Also because I ran out of money.
Mhm.
A side note, hours are free until you are 26. But, well, I had to live somewhere. And that cost money. And I'm poor. It didn't end well.
but,
Making it cheap makes a lot of sense because, yes, a lot of people don't end up using their degrees.
Well,
except
they
in
don't.
making their life better.
They don't directly use the degrees to get exactly the job that they trained for. But in a
Yes,
roundabout
well-
way, they eventually land some sort of career and make some sort of living. It doesn't really go entirely according to...
Even though it's like completely not what you wanted to work in.
I mean, let's be clear here. A lot of these gaming journalists did not intend to become gaming journalists. That's just something they rolled into.
Or maybe they would have been better at it if they actually got a degree in journalism.
No, that's the thing. Well, okay. Obviously, it's not universal, but I
You
believe
mean
that
real journalism?
I think that the lead editor at Kotaku, for instance, has a degree in journalism, and if you
And
look
then
at
no one
this-
else.
And
Yeah.
if you look at this Twitter timeline, it's nowhere to be seen. Like, no professionalism. It's just, oh yeah, you gamers are stupid and you should all die.
Other thing with the
That's
degrees is like
bizarre.
sometimes you realize you don't need it. Like what I'm doing right now is the work I wanted to do, and the degree I was studying would not give me any of the knowledge I have from the work.
The
It's
conclusion
actually something
is
very different.
the conclusion is, as kids, we look up to our parents and think, "Wow, those fuckers have it all figured out," and here I am just being a dumbass kid who has no clue what to do in life. Well, make a guess. If you're,
And then,
you know,
then you happen to be adult, and I'm like, well, I'm just a dumbass adult who doesn't have a clue what to do with his life.
the point is everyone's just sort of just stumbling around in life and trying to figure out what the fuck they're supposed to do.
Exactly. At least, though, some of us can finish a game's tutorial.
Well,
That's quite
we-
an accomplishment.
We've seen that eventually he figured
Well,
it out.
No, Tridgeon, if you were following some games journalist, you would realize that tutorials are no laughing business.
Well, okay. To touch up on the whole.
I mean, if the tutorial is Cuphead, then
Well, it's written on the screen.
to touch up on the whole gamers as a subculture thing. So this guy spent a exorbitant amount of time just trying to figure out what most gamers would consider to be a fairly basic tutorial. Like you pick up a controller, you just read the instructions, screens, you replicate the controls.
You do
Which
what they want
control?
from you.
Yeah, you basically just follow instructions and, with some intuitive knowledge of, okay, if I combine these button presses, this is what my character will do and whatnot.
I played the game once. I think I know what this does.
But
Maybe that's it. Maybe the journalist didn't play a game. before.
I mean, case in point, my dad, and to a lesser extent, my mom. In the rare cases that they do play video games, and they're pretty much pre-video game generation, especially my dad. They can't do jack shit. If you give them a control and say play Super Mario, they
See,
have
Artrix, your problem is you are giving them controller like some peasants.
well, Super Mario is best played with a controller.
he's mentioning one of the most easy, intuitive, like best controlled games made.
Yes.
That too.
On purpose.
Like yeah, this game has one of the tightest control schemes on the planet,
I heard about this Mario.
The planet.
and they can manage it. They can barely finish level 1. Whenever we're playing a co-op, I just breeze through the level like it's nothing, and I'm just standing at the edge of the screen while my mother can just barely get past it, while my dad's just sort of all the way on the other side of the screen, barely jumping. They have no clue of things like momentum and how small jumps and large jumps work.
Your parents are lame.
Well, when
Then
comes
again,
really-
all my mom had was Tetris and Super Mario Bros. So she was good at that.
well, there you go.
With a lot of training comes a lot of skill.
Well,
She was better at the game than I was.
that's interesting. And a friend of mine actually had a kid recently, and
See, Artrix, because I didn't invest the time.
yes.
It's some sort of skill improves based on time invested. Huh.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Even without any prior training, I'm pretty sure you can do better at Mario than my parents' game. even without
Right.
any prior training whatsoever. There's
And it's just
some-
also it's just also how our brains work. Kids are adaptable, and we have simply grown up playing video games. And once you get past a certain age, if you're exposed to new things, your brain is not good at learning them.
And
Yes,
that's
with
why I
effort,
hate
you can do it.
Facebook.
But when you hand someone and say like, "Hey, this is a game," maybe they're not quite, ready
What
to
are you trying to
learn a
sell
new
me?
skill. Like they think, "Oh, it's a game. I'm gonna be able to. This is gonna be easy," and then maybe you don't realize that, like, "Oh, this is something completely different that I don't know how to do. I'm gonna have to sit
It's
down and
the
figure
Dark
this out."
Souls of 2D platformers.
which one?
But it's
Mario?
still, it's
Artrix doesn't matter. I think every game that killed at least one person at least once was compared to Dark Souls.
Oh, okay. Because
oh no, you're
That's
the
the
game you're
joke,
thinking of is
Artrix, that
Rogue.
that people in media like very much to compare games that are nothing at all like Dark Souls to Dark Souls.
okay.
Well, if you're gonna do this, use the original modifier. Say that the game is roguelike.
That would imply that they know what roguelike is.
but yeah, the
It's
point
all roguelites anyway.
the point I was making is that okay, so a lot of
Yeah,
gaming
the point.
conventions, even if you've never played a game before, there are just certain conventions that someone that would identify as a gamer, as in, yes, I play video games, that's a hobby of mine, that is a identity. I mean, I'm not exactly a fan of the whole notion of people
Identity.
having gaming as their sole identifier. Yes, my
Honestly,
entire... Go ahead.
Honestly, I'm not a big fan of people having an identity to begin with.
Well, everyone's got an identity. It's what you do with it. That's the crux. Not,
Some people
I
have
mean,
identities.
well, your identity is a very complex mixture of all sorts of things that you can or cannot control. I mean, one part of your identity is your skin color. That is something that you're just are.
Unless you are Michael Jackson or Rachel Dolezal.
No one looked at Michael Jackson and said, "That's a perfectly normal human being. Come on."
That's a human being, you mean?
But you know what I mean. Your identity is
Possible.
a mixture of things that you can change and things that you just that are formed by life experiences and whatnot, and therefore no one can really be the same person. But there are certain things that
Not even clones. That's the
there are
most scary
certain
thing
things
about it.
that bind people together. So in the case of gamers, gamers are people who like video games. They may not agree on everything, and a gamer can be an artist too, but some gamers are completely incapable of art. So you have people that are artists and gamers, and you have people that are, they're computer programmers, or they like to ride horses or whatever. Or they like to apply makeup. I mean, come on, gamers can be girls too, and girls like makeup. That can be,
Yes,
that can be-
gamers can be girls too, you heard it.
Yes, that's how much of a misogyny nerd I am. Did you hear that, Astra?
Yep.
You can be a girl too, Astra.
If you just believe in yourself.
Don't stop believing.
I mean, just like this girl protagonist I'm drawing right now.
She has a hat made by Nazis.
By literal Nazis.
Yes. And by Nazis, we mean neckbeard.
Yes. A sweatshop full of neckbeard gamers.
I agree.
You can be a neckbeard and a gamer, but you can be a neckbeard and not be a gamer. Those are not mutually exclusive or some shit like that.
I had a thing, but I forgot what the thing was. So I'm just going to tell you that the that what was his name, the director of that EA part that made Mass Effect Andromeda,
Huh?
and completely failed, and then they all got fired. He obviously got fired too. He's a very pleasant person.
Huh?
He absolutely hates white people and wants them all to die.
Huh?
Oh,
And now he was interviewed, and he basically said that he's the best, and he knows a lot of people that are continued in continued employment by EA in some other divisions who are absolutely useless. Maybe
Name-
maybe if they weren't fired and you were, maybe the problem is you. I'm just saying.
Just Super
Why does-
Saiyan.
Yeah.
Why does this person have a zipper on their coat when there's clearly nothing to be zippered?
You don't understand art, Tridgeon. It represents the duality
logic.
of man.
Yeah, man, it's got a super deep meaning. It's not like the game is nothing but okay, you're a little girl in a spaceship powered by clocks, and you need to collect them, and that's it. No, there's a very deep social commentary in there.
Video games
The little
are
girl actually identifies as a zipper.
Well, you see, the zipper represents
femininity.
yeah. Because
it's a vagina. It's a metaphor for vagina. You see.
yes. And
So that's why
whether
it's
they're
used.
open or not, is he chooses to close them because he's a good little feminist. Unless he's a sex positive feminist, then it should be open.
You're gonna have to edit this out, aren't you?
No, this
No.
is art, Tridgeon.
Unedited.
This is very deep discussion about art. What are you talking about? Yes, whatever that person said.
But what? The game is supposed to be discussed in a very mature fashion, like the mature people that we are.
And before the developers are actually listening to us and decide to make it a walking simulator.
Hey, developers, can I have a free copy of your game? Okay, thanks.
So long as the zipper functions in the walking simulator.
Yes, zippers are important.
I put it on a jacket that can actually potentially have been zippered instead of being some sort of like shoulder cowl thing.
Put it on a real jacket that can jack.
What game is this anyway?
Head in Time. It's like a N64 style platformer, except
People waited decades for this. Oh, a decade.
except it's been in development since 2012. It's a Kickstarter, and it's been
No,
fairly
no,
dormant
no.
for.
No, look, the people on NeoGAF said they waited a decade, so we need to believe them. Listen and believe.
Listen and believe, except trust and
Well, look,
verify.
they waited for the game so long that not even the inclusion of the Nazi will spoil that.
Uh-huh.
I did like it. Like that, you had people, Tridgeon, who were like, "Oh no, there's John Brown in it. I can play this." There are people, "Oh, I don't like him, but I waited for this game long enough. I'm just going to play it and not let this guy disrupt my enjoyment of it."
What's this? People in 2017 playing a video game because they like the game?
I know, right? It's almost like the person is sensible.
They're like, oh, I personally don't agree with every single person that worked on it, but I like the sum of all the elements in the game, so I'll play it anyways.
Oh yes, just like the. I've noticed that the comments in Steam reviews on the store pages for Steam are getting to be absolutely ridiculous.
Oh my!
So there's been a pretty long-running problem of like people jumping to pre-order games too early and encouraging companies to make bad games.
You
So now
mean
companies
at
are making
all?
bad games and making lots of money out of it.
No. Pre-orders. There's no too early when it comes to pre-orders. There's just pre-orders. That's too
Yeah, but
early
then
in
there's
itself.
pre-orders, and then there's companies like not releasing completed games, and all sorts of issues that can come from this because
But
they're going to make
that's
money
been
either
happening
way.
for years now, Tridgeon.
Yeah, it's been happening
It's
for years.
always like it's a beta. Don't criticize it, and the beta
But
comes out.
it's becoming popular now to complain about these things and rate and
Ah.
review games poorly because of it, which is you think would be a good thing, but now I'm starting to like.
It's the thing you should do because the game is crap, and if you don't let the developers know that it's absolute horseshit, that they are not going to improve it, right?
But I've seen games that are getting brigaded online with horrible reviews just because they have traits in common with some of these games that are now becoming bad. If they have any sort of in-game store, then suddenly it's a bad game that you should feel bad for wanting this
As
thing.
long as it has loot boxes, I'm supporting this.
Or if there's like, well, I mean, like loot boxes don't necessarily mean that the game is bad, or the fact that the game is on early access and that it's available for sale doesn't necessarily mean that the game is bad. And I'm seeing a lot of people that are like, this if you bought this game, you should feel bad for yourself. 1 star. And like
You should,
brigading
you bought
and
the
stuff.
game.
But
That's very reasonable, yes.
there's a lot of toxicity in the community that I didn't notice before I went to the woods at the beginning of this year.
Well, yeah,
I think some of the people got fed up.
it's of course kind of a double-edged sword because the concept of review bombing is fairly apparently a fairly new phenomenon, and it's due to a few factors.
Yes, because people were generally okay with early accesses and stores and shit, but it kind of got out of hand lately.
That and people have no other way to express their concerns.
Yes, because when you are like, I don't like this is potentially very bad for the game. You got the fans of the game being like, they are a private company and they can do what they want. Fuck off. Well,
So-
that's a good discourse.
So the only recourse they have is, well, to leave a bad review on Steam, because it's a very direct and visible indicator of how gamers perceive a specific game. I mean, just renting on a forum is not going to change all that much. Well, the gaming media.
Yeah, but
isn't
if you spend the money on it, then yes, you are in full right to tell everybody what you think.
Especially if you paid the price of admission and you don't like it, yep, you're completely in your right to, tell people, no, it's not worth your money.
Yep, I guess that makes sense. It's just, I don't know.
But yeah,
It would have been nice, I guess, if the problem was solved a little further upstream, and Steam Greenlight wasn't such absolute crap, I guess.
Oh, Steam Greenlight. Like, why would you even take that in consideration? Well, the thing is that let's stay with the loot boxes, because this is a thing that influenced Shadow of War's actual gameplay, because the game was designed around the grind and they made it just so boring that you would be tempted to buy those boxes. And if you have a loot box, ideally, if it has a skin in it, I don't fucking care if some retards want to buy it, fine. If it has upgrades that actually help you in game in terms of stats or power or whatever, yes, that's starting to be a problem. But when it actually bleeds out into a design that you change the parts of the game to accommodate people buying the boxes, no, that's not good.
I think
Yeah,
pretty
at least in
much,
PvP.
I think I pretty much stand on that position that I really don't give a shit if cosmetics are locked behind loot boxes. If you pay the price of admission and you can just play the damn game, fine. I don't really care all that, especially if you can just play the game and gradually get the content that way. But even if that isn't the case, yeah, if it's loot box system, Overwatch does pretty well, I believe.
Yep.
You get, say what you want about the game, but you pay, the price of admission, and you get to play the game as much as you want.
The problem starts when you tamper with the time and reward, time invested and reward gain, because you know what kind of games have lots of waiting for something to happen, and are tempting you to buy something that could speed up the
I
process.
definitely remember that shitty pony game that was out there back in the day.
Yes.
Oh god.
It's the mobile and browser games like this.
Yes.
Oh, the mobile pony game,
Yes,
where you have to spend people spending like hundreds of dollars on collecting.
Yeah.
Yes, that was so
You
ridiculous.
basically plop down a factory. It was basically slave labor, the game, because you'd acquire pony, and it's like, hey, Rarity, do you want to make dresses? And it's like, fuck off. And you're like, you're gonna do it anyways because you're
Too bad,
you,
Rarity.
goddammit.
This is like the one episode of the show you are now slaves.
So you plop down Rarity, and you don't even have to put her in a fashion shop. You can plop her down anywhere. So if you want to delegate her to a life of building carrots, then you can do it. You can plop her down in a carrot farm and just have her mine carrots all day long. So
You are now Applejack, Rarity.
yes. So you plop her down in a carrot factory, and it's like, okay, you have to wait 20 minutes before the carrots drop, or you can pay a little bit of IRL money, and we can speed this up a little bit.
Bam! Instant carrots.
Yeah.
Yes. And of course, as a staple of good old free-to-play games, you get to play the game for free, but there's like certain items in the game for specific items that you can basically only get by paying or waiting an extra bit, like an extreme amount of time. Like you have to wait a year to be able to get enough gems or whatever the hell the local currency is to get that one item in the game.
And you shouldn't, like, in real serious games, this should not be the case.
No.
Yes, in Shadow of War, you actually do stuff actively while grinding the orcs, but you are still just grinding the orcs. And at some point, it's just like going to be tedious. And even if I disregard the fact that they have like top lines, what are they called? Psychologists. Those people. They have those people working on the psychology of buying and reward and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So they can balance it just right. Oh yeah. As I said, if it's cosmetics, I don't really care that much strongly because it's cosmetic. If you want to look like a pimp, why not? Of course, I would just use a mod, but hey. But if it's actually tampering with the gameplay, and no, that's not the right way. I don't know how best to say it, but it's not what you should do with the game, because then the game is not a game anymore.
Exactly.
It's not fun.
But that's the thing, and that's probably what's going to end this trend to begin with, because eventually people will get the wind of it. They'll notice, hey, wait, these games aren't fun anymore, and they'll gravitate towards games that are actual games, and not just
People did realize that with one of the Deus Exes. What was it? The Human Revolution or the other one? There were two. Deus Ex 3 Part 2. Yes, well, that one. You could actually buy the items that allow you to save and medkits and ammo. Which is kind of, back in my day we called that cheats, and they were for free.
Oh, so they were offering like DLC that basically like, yeah, you can buy cheats now.
Yes, it was a DLC, and it was like, this is a pack of medkits. Or a pack of, I don't know, access codes for some doors or shit. Hack tools, yes, that was it.
Well, that sucks.
Yes, it does. Like, what? There's really no need for that. If you just want to have it easier, just play it on a lower difficulty.
That is the literal definition of pay to win.
Indeed. And it's a single player game.
Anyways, you guys, we're approaching the end of the episode, so
It's the end! The end is nigh.
Does anyone have a topic that we almost forgot to bring up?
Two topics.
How did you guys celebrate Mule Appreciation Day yesterday?
The what the fuck? What the what?
Yesterday was National Mule Appreciation Day.
How?
We don't have mules over here. We only have horses.
Thank you, donkey. That's not a donkey.
Well, you got me. I got you there, Tridgeon, because I'm not in your country, so I have no obligation to celebrate. Checkmate, atheists.
Wait, what are you talking about? Everything is America.
Well, he's in Eastern America.
Anyway.
Or will soon be.
Sekele. You wanted to bring something up. Go
Yes, if you already segued into it, I'm going to use this one. It's less of a topic and more of an observation.
Oh no.
Basically, ever since the 90s, like ever since communism fell
Ever
and
since 20 years ago.
gained our independence, it seems like American corporations are still trying to force Halloween onto us, and for all these decades, they are failing.
It's because we have irrational hate of pumpkins. Those fucking orange fools.
Isn't the real reason that you got your own celebration kind of like Halloween, but not really?
Yeah, we go to the graveyard and like hide it, people. Here, we brought some candles.
Yeah. Over here, especially in the, I think it's the northern provinces, we got something called Sint Maarten, which is very similar to Halloween, where kids go to your door and like, well, they basically say trick or treat, but you know, in Dutch. But Halloween is no. I actually don't know what the exact phrasing is, but GG. But actual Halloween, as in the American version, is starting to become a thing over here, and it's one of those things that I embrace fully, because for the most people, it's just silly fun. It's like it's not it's completely secular. It's just good old fun. You know, you go out dressed up as monsters, you watch spooky movies, or you go to a theme park and buy super expensive food and then realize it was actually a shitty day out. Let's not ever do this ever again.
Can you do it next year again?
No, I consciously decided, no, I'm not going to go anywhere near that theme park, especially around Halloween. Because
You did once.
I am not going to wait 4 hours to go to one goddamn ride.
I had fun once. It was terrible.
I know, you should never do it. But yeah, that was your observation, Sekele. What was the other thing?
The other thing was a nice little thing CNN recently stated.
Fake news?
Something like that.
Oh.
Since, CNN is making it their mission to destroy the life and career of US President Donald Trump, and their viewership is dropping,
Huh.
they decided to do the wisest thing and said to their audience that the audience has to believe and do everything the media says to them, because that is how democracy works.
Okay,
Yes, that makes sense.
okay. Doesn't really matter what your stance on Trump is. That statement is retarded. Also,
Was it CNN where one of the anchors said that Trump might be able to use Twitter to influence people and tell them what they should think, and that is our job?
Yeah, I do remember one instance where a reporter was like, yeah, don't.
She actually said that is our job because,
Yes.
well, obviously she didn't mean it like that, but
No, that was this reporter that said something. I'm not even sure it was CNN, but it was this reporter that said something along the lines of, "Okay, it's illegal to look up WikiLeaks. That we can, by the way. So you should believe us instead."
So remember, if you have any info on this, it's from us.
And
Yeah.
connected to this, I'm not sure if it's recent news or just something older that I came across, but some of the information agencies, or how do you call them, from whom the media in America gains their intel, are being paid by Hillary Clinton.
So you mean
How shocking.
You mean they're investigators at CNN or?
Investigative reporters
Huh?
who then sell their info to the media. Turns out that most of them are on the payroll of Hillary Clinton.
Well, look how much it helped her.
Well, then again, the whole thing with Trump was
Russian hackers.
Russian hackers, and eventually it was like, no, there was no hacking. It's just Russians buying ad space. That's it, and that's not legal. Nothing stopping anyone from buying ad space. I mean, yeah, this
Maybe they hacked some billboards, Artrix.
Oh yeah, maybe. They maybe one kid, maybe it was one 4chan kid who managed to hack a one of those Windows operated billboards. You know, sometimes they crash and you see like Windows crash screen, but instead it's one satirical Trump ad, and yeah, that's the sole reason Trump won. Nothing else. Nothing else. There's nothing to do with anything else. That's the sole reason he won.
Yes, obviously.
Anyway, before we end the episode, there's one little. I want to shout out, like, do a little shout out to the following movie, which is Blade Runner 2049.
How bad is it?
It's so bad it's good.
How long is it?
It's a
Strange.
pretty long movie.
Are you saying Artrix, that they made a sequel to a movie from the 80s that doesn't completely suck?
Yes, it's actually good.
That's strange.
I mean, I haven't seen the original, but it definitely has the vibe of the original, as in.
I haven't seen the original, but it has the vibe of it.
I've seen plenty of scenes and footage from the original.
Some of my best friends are scenes and footage from the original.
But
Like the tears in the rain.
everything is in the goddamn rain. It's actually the nice thing about this movie is that it takes its time to tell its story. It's not like a lot of these for one thing, it's not a goddamn cape movie. So
It's not like Ghost in the Shell, the new movie.
No, it's definitely not like Ghost in the Shadow, the new movie.
Neons! Flyovers! Explosion!
Because that movie completely missed the point of the original movie. This movie, however...
But neons!
Well, there was a shit ton of neon light in this movie.
Are you saying there's more to Ghost in the Shell than neons?
No. That's all there is to Ghost in the Shell. Nothing else.
Yes, I knew it.
So yeah, if you haven't seen it, and you want to incentivize movie studios to make stuff that's not nonsense dribble, I suggest you go see this movie. It's one of the few movies I've seen in recent times where I'm like, wow, this is actually an intelligent, interesting, fascinating movie that's interesting all the way through, and not like you're just sitting there and like, yeah, it's another fight scene. It's generic superhero music again, and I mean, I like Deadpool, but that's because Deadpool is just one of those mindless popcorn flicks.
All random movies.
It really is. It doesn't shy away from just being a dumb action flick.
It doesn't shy away.
Except that Shia LaBeouf was not involved in that movie. Fortunately.
He was involved in one movie that I saw, and that's too much for me.
Yeah, I reckon you're scarred for life.
Yes, I am. It was the fourth Indiana Jones.
Also, what happened to our Tridgeon?
What's that? Tridgeon?
I'm still here. I'm listening. I just don't really know too much about what you guys are talking about. So
Okay.
About how bad Indiana Jones 4 was.
oh god, we don't. That movie doesn't ever happen.
What movie?
What are you
That's
talking
no movie.
about? There is no movie.
Anyway, this drawing of Head Girl is done. She's hella cute, so I'm going to end this hella podcast. Give us a hella like and a hella favorite.
Hella like.
Put it in your hella favorites. We'll see you hella next time for another hella episode of Hella Radio
Oh my
Rothingham.
god, you want to party?
I want a hella party.
Alright. That was some poor attempt at some EDM music. Anyway, Kenny's
how Artrix
bye, don't
party.
die. Bye.
You can die.
Is there any beer in
Die,
this?
die, die. Oh, wait, you said
on
bye.
that note, I'm going to end it. Bye.